A lot has changed since the last time we did a power ranking here. We wanted to see how the Raptors stacked up against the rest of the Eastern Conference. I really had them penciled in as the 5th seed, but since that point, Cleveland have traded for Donovan Mitchell without really losing any of their assets, and the Brooklyn Nets have gotten back Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. All of a sudden, this Eastern Conference, which like 5-6 years ago was really paled in comparison to the West, is hyper competitive. So in this one, we want to go over how the Raptors stack up against the rest of the East. Are they still a playoff team? To do this, we have a tier list. This is going up on the Clips channel. We're streaming this live on Twitch. We go live on Twitch. We try to. At least go live on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Come check it out. Check us out at twitch.tv/amateursports. The link is also in the description to check that out. Follow us to get notified when I go live. But if you don't want to do that, you can continue to check out the videos here on YouTube. We take the best segments from the Twitch streams. We upload them to YouTube in videos just like this. If you want to see more of these, make sure you're subscribed. We're getting very close to 1,000 subs. You can help us get there, and like this video to support the channel as well. But tier list. We have 6 categories. The contenders, the true contenders, top of the top. We have the teams I believe are dark horses who can win a championship. They're just not the contenders like the other teams in the top category. We have the playoff teams. Yeah, they're good. They're going to make the playoffs, but they ain't winning a championship this year. The play-in teams, they'll be competitive. Ultimately, it just won't be good enough. The teams that miss the playoffs, the teams that want to get there and are going to try to get there, that are just going to fail to do so. And the Wemby tier, because they are all in on Victor Wembanyama. Okay, the hardest team is first, so we're going to move them last. Easy team, Boston. Just made the NBA Finals, and they got better in the offseason. Adding in Malcolm Brogdon, not really losing any assets in order to make that happen. I hate the Celtics, but you got to give them the credit here. They are a contender in the Eastern Conference. Another difficult one is the Hawks. We'll kind of skip them for now. Cleveland is one I want to do because Chicago's also tough. Cleveland are all of a sudden a playoff team. Now, I would have had them as a play-in team, but they traded Lauri Markkanen, who is an average player, who they don't really care about too much, and they're playing him at the 3 out of position. They lost him, Colin Sexton, who was injured all year and is an RFA, and they lost the player they drafted. They had the same core in place and just added in Donovan Mitchell. And if you're going to have 2 small guards who aren't great defenders in Garland and Mitchell, you need to have a really good front court defense, and they have arguably the best in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. They're a playoff team. Not a dark horse to me, but they are a playoff team, and they have a young core that's going to continue to get better. The Charlotte Hornets, pretty simple. They are missing the playoffs. LaMelo Ball just doesn't have any help. The only help he did have should go to jail. So yeah, when your second best player goes to prison, you're gonna have a lot of trouble making the playoffs. And they're not bad enough to tank. They hired a new coach. They want to be good, but they ain't getting there. The Detroit Pistons, they've had a really good couple of years in adding in talent, trading away the deadwood, bringing in the right pieces, but it's going to take time. I do think this year they are going to try to win some games. Don't think they're going to win a ton, but I do have my own personal money bet on them going over their win total for this season, which I believe was around 28.5 wins. I think they're going to go try to win some games. I just don't think they're good enough to make the playoffs. Next one is pretty easy. They want Victor Wembanyama. Indiana Pacers are going to be tanking, looking to get a really good player in the draft. That is not a hot take. Miami's weird because on paper, I look at Miami and I'm like, that's not that good a team. And they got worse. They lost PJ Tucker. They didn't bring anybody of significance in. But Spoelstra and just the Heat in general, Pat Riley, they always find a way to win. They're not a contender. The way the East is stacking up, I think they're a playoff team. I would have had them as a dark horse before. I can't really do that anymore. Let's move the Raptors to last to keep you guys waiting to the end of the video. Don't skip ahead, because you have to see what I say about these teams here. You'll miss it if you skip ahead. The Milwaukee Bucks, yeah, easy contender. Come on. I think they would have won the chip if Milton was healthy. He wasn't, so they didn't. It is what it is. But they're still really good. And I think Giannis is going to come out to feast this year. I think he's going to win MVP. New York Knicks, how did they fumble Donovan Mitchell? They added Brunson. They signed RJ. They had all of the assets to get Mitchell, and they didn't. Like, I don't even like the Knicks, and I feel the pain of Knicks fans. Oh, my God, guys. How did they mess that one up? Fire everybody. Just move the franchise. Move the franchise to Las Vegas. Why do we even support the Knicks anymore? Oh, my goodness. All right. Orlando Magic. Yeah. Give us Victor Wembanyama. Cool. They got Banchero. They're tanking. Come on. Atlanta. Okay, here. Philadelphia. Now, that's a dark horse. They're not quite as good as these two teams, but they could win a chip this year. I like the business they've done in the offseason. PJ Tucker. Nice pickup. House. Overrated pickup, but still good. Melton. Overrated pickup, but he's still good. People are gassing up the House and Melton pickups. They're fine, but people are seriously gassing them up a little bit too much for my taste. This is your prototypical missing playoff team because they gave Bradley Beal all this money. They're trying to win games, but they're just not good enough. They're going to miss the playoffs. And now we get to the meat and the potatoes here. Because we have 5 teams accredited to a playoff position right now. Only 8 teams make the playoffs, which means one of these 4 is not going to make the playoffs. I think Brooklyn, given the just sheer amount of talent on that team, I know there's dysfunction, but you've got Kyrie on a contract year. I think he'll play at least 50 games. KD is KD. There's some good pieces around that. Ben Simmons is there. We don't know what headset he's in, but he's there. Royce O'Neal was a nice pickup. They've got Joe Harris coming back. We'll see what he's like. They've got Seth Curry, who is exceptional after getting traded to the Nets. TJ Warren. Won't be Bubble Warren, but that's a fine player. This is a good team. A lot could go wrong, but I still think this is a team that should feel like they're a top 6 team. Meaning, question marks about the Raptors here. Because that's 6 already in the playoffs. This is where it gets tricky. I could be convinced to say the Raptors can finish above all of these teams. I think it's a little bit unfair to say we're better than the Cavs. It is what it is. They were behind us, but they got Donovan Mitchell. You guys watching this video, you're probably a Raptors fan. I think we got to be honest and say the Cavs were good last season up until Jared Allen got injured. They just added in Donovan Mitchell. I think we're good enough to be potentially a 4 seed. Miami is just a team that wins, though. I don't think we're as good as Cleveland. And Brooklyn, on paper, should be like here. It makes me sad, but I really struggle to rank the Raptors as a top 16. And we go to another play-in team. Well, actually, we'll put them playoffs. I think they'll make it. Oh, I think they'll make it. I think the Raptors will make the playoffs. Whether that's through the play-in or as a top 6 seed, I think the Raptors will make the playoffs. And that leaves us with the Hawks, I believe, our play-in team. I have bet on them to win under 47.5 games this season. I have bet on the Raptors to win over 44.5 games this season. I think the Raptors will be near 50. If you're near 50, the East would have to be goddamn loaded for you not to make the playoffs. I think the Raptors make the playoffs. That is already 8 teams up there. I think we'll put Chicago here as well. It actually means we need another play-in team. Congratulations to the Washington Wizards. You're going to win not enough games to make the playoffs, but too many games to get a good draft pick. And you're going to be stuck in purgatory with Bradley Beal. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah. There we go. And there you have it. I think the Knicks could sneak up there, but the Knicks suck. How do the Raptors stack up? I still think they're a playoff team. We'll put Atlanta here. I still think they're a playoff team. I think they're good enough to leapfrog all of these teams potentially and shock us. But on paper, it's hard to say they're better than these teams. I think they're better than Atlanta. I think they're better than Chicago. There was that big mix of teams, Cleveland, Toronto, Atlanta, Chicago, kind of jostling for position. Cleveland took a step up. I thought the Raptors were the best of those. I still think they're best of Atlanta and Chicago. So that'll be mine. What is yours? Where do you think the Raptors will finish? How many wins do you think the Raptors will have this season? Let me know. But that is it. I'm excited for this season. Hey, I know we're going to be the 4th seed. I'm just trying to be honest here. It is what it is.